Hello, I'm Miss Igo. Welcome to my classroom. Today we're going to be talking about evaluating equations. If you're told to evaluate an equation, it simply means that you're going to be plugging in a value for a certain variable in an equation. In this example, it says to evaluate the following equations for x equals 3. So you're given some equations, and you're given a value that you need to plug in for the variable. In number 1, we have that y is equal to 2x minus 7, and we're told to evaluate that equation for x equals 3. So that simply means that we need to plug in 3 in place of x, or substitute 3 for x in the equation. So let's do that. The rest of the equation stays the same, and I'm going to replace the x with 3. Remember, whenever a number and a variable are written next to each other, that represents multiplication. So when I replace the x with the 3, I'm putting it in parentheses, and that means that I need to multiply it times the 2. So that gives me y is equal to 6 minus 7. When I simplify that, I get that y is equal to a negative 1. In number 2, my x is being squared. So I'm going to replace the x again with what they tell me. They told me to replace it with a 3. And that needs to be squared. Well, 3 squared is 9. And 9 plus 4 is 13. In these next two equations, I'm told to evaluate them for x equals negative 2. Anytime we're substituting a negative number in for a variable, we definitely need to make sure that we put it in parentheses when we're substituting. In number 3, we have negative 6, and I'm going to replace the x with negative 2 minus 8 equals y. So a negative 6 times negative 2 would become a positive 12 minus 8 equals y. And 12 minus 8 is 4. So 4 equals y. In the next equation, y is equal to, again, when I replace the x with my negative 2, I need to make sure, especially, we should always put it in parentheses when we're substituting, but especially if it's negative. So we have that negative 2 that is being squared, plus negative 2 plus 1. Okay, when I square a negative number, it becomes a positive number. So negative 2 squared becomes positive 4. If I hadn't put it in the parentheses, I would just be squaring the 2, and this number would stay negative, and that would be incorrect. So make sure, again, put it in parentheses when you're substituting. Plus a negative 2, which would be the same thing as minus 2 plus 1. Because a positive times a negative is negative. Okay, so 4 minus 2 is 2 plus 1, which is 3. All right, these last two examples have us evaluating the equations for x equals 0. 4, and I'm replacing the x with 0 plus 3 equals y. Well, 4 times 0 is 0, and 0 plus 3 is 3. So 3 equals y. And in the last example, we have y is equal to 5 minus 0. Well, 5 minus 0 is just 5. And that's how we evaluate equations. Thank you for watching.